It is out of Area 51 that the tape we are about to show you was supposedly smuggled.
There are moments when this looks very real.
Donald Rumsfeld has been aware of the alien entities at least since 1973. His sole interest now is to find a way to be one of those who are taken off when the end comes.
I think you've got your hands on some pretty sensitive material.
This goes out to all the skeptics, the narrow-minded people out there who think that everything in this policy is fake. Be still now and listen, or your chance may not come again. Do yourself a favour and stop mocking the alien interview video. Don't just dismiss it as a silly hoax. I guarantee you will be amazed if you spend time studying the video as I have been doing for the last 18 months. And you wouldn't believe the amount of support I've been getting from well-known experts all over the world. Now sit back and watch the following documentary about why I believe the alien interview video is real. Okay, here it goes. 3, 2, 1.
These are video screens up here, television, video monitors, and they're off at an angle. If this was shot using a video camera with lines on it, we would see moire patterns up there, and we don't see the moire patterns. So there's a probability that this was shot originally on film, possibly a film stock like 72-52 or 72-47, depending on the lighting.
The idea that these images may have originated on film is in direct contradiction to Victor's statement that the interview was shot on video. Another expert who was asked to examine the tape was Michael Hesseman, one of Europe's leading UFO researchers and author of the international bestseller Beyond Roswell.
When I got the first information about the alien interview footage, and when I saw the first picture, I said there might be a connection to a real incident.
Hesseman was intrigued both by the alien's appearance and by Victor's claim that the being arrived at Area 51 in 1989.
If it is authentic, it might be the most significant film ever published, ever shown on television.
For several years now, Hesseman has been investigating reports that the South African Air Force shot down a flying saucer in the Kalahari Desert in 1989. According to Hesseman's sources, 2 survivors were retrieved from the downed saucer. One was sent to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, and the other to Area 51. The extraterrestrial in Victor's tape bears a striking resemblance to descriptions of the Kalahari ET, and the timing of its appearance at Area 51 is consistent with the South African incident.
If you see the drawings we have of the Kalahari alien and the descriptions we have, it seems to be the same being. And the Kalahari incident puts the alien interview footage into a context and gives it at least a probability that it might be real. It might be the real stuff, we just don't know.
The UFO crash in the Kalahari Desert in 1989. One of the most documented cases of all time referred to a 60-foot wide spacecraft which was forced down on the border of South Africa. This craft impacted with the desert at high speed, causing a crater 450 feet in diameter and 36 feet deep. Official military documents reveal that the craft entered South African airspace at 1:45 p.m. on the 7th of May 1989 and was intercepted by 2 Mirage jet fighters. Because the craft failed to respond to communication, one of the fighters was ordered to attack the craft with an experimental laser cannon. This caused the craft to lose altitude and crash.
After the craft was retrieved, it was removed to a secret Air Force base, and on arrival at this base, it was found a door had partially opened in the side of the craft. Hydraulic pumping gear was brought to the scene and the door was forced open. When this was done, 2 aliens staggered out of the craft, and it was found that one appeared to be seriously injured. They were immediately arrested and removed to a medical centre, where a medical team was sent in to try to assist. The authorities at the scene entered the UFO, and hieroglyphics were found inside the machine, alien hieroglyphics of course, and various items of electronic equipment were also removed from the craft. The retrieval team from America arrived eventually, and the object plus the aliens were eventually taken by C-5 Galaxy transporters back to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where further analysis was taken on.
When the military entered the craft, they quickly removed portable equipment and instruments, some of which were considered useful as potential weapons. This was not certain at the time, but was clarified after scientific investigation. Also found aboard the craft were a series of hieroglyphics, which indicated that the aliens had a written form of communication. The writing gave the impression of an alien alphabet, but it is not known if any of the scientists present were able to understand its meaning. Data found on the craft were stored on a system of silicone slides. It was obvious to everybody at the site that they were dealing with a very advanced technology.
If you see the drawings we have of the Kalahari alien and the descriptions we have, it seems to be the same being. And the Kalahari incident puts the alien interview footage into a context.
That video, more so than the alien autopsy, more so than anything else, has not only stood the test of time, but nobody has come out to debunk it. Nobody has come out and said, "Oh, haha, it's a trick. I did it." We asked special effects people in Hollywood how much money would it take to fake something like this, and they were saying anywhere between $250,000 and $350,000, and we were thinking, really, and who has that kind of money to just put up some kind of fake like this? And the more that we learn, and I think it was Baker, I think it was Rick Baker. But he's the one that said, I can do better, and I have done better. And so my challenge to him was, okay, how much? What would it cost for you to do this? And he was the one that said, well, $250,000 to $350,000. And I'm like, really? Okay, so you got somebody that's so we come up with that kind of money. You're telling me that you could do this, and you're saying that somebody spent that kind of money to fake something like this, and yet take no credit for it whatsoever, release it to the public the way it is, and the way it came about also is that Victor tried to sell it to Fox after the alien autopsy, which he thought was bogus. He contacted Fox, and Fox said, no thanks, we're already in enough trouble. This was Bob Keviat, by the way.
This is powerful because this is not a staged event. This is real.
In the 1960s, Robert O. Dean served as an Army intelligence analyst at NATO headquarters in Europe, where he claims to have seen first-hand evidence of alien beings and their artifacts. Retired from the Army, he is now a highly regarded UFO researcher and analyst. Dean was asked to view the tape and offer his expert opinion.
They're treating him like a piece of livestock, wiping his lips.
Calling on his own first-hand experience for comparison, Robert Dean was stunned and moved by what he saw.
That breaks my heart. I think you've got yourself a piece of legitimate footage here, and I think you've got your hands on some pretty sensitive material. I don't know how the hell you got this. I don't know who you got it from, and frankly, I don't want to know who you got it from. But you got yourself a tiger by the tail with this footage. I would say, and I know that that's one of the things you ask of me, is that you've got yourself some legitimate footage of one of the little guys being interrogated and filmed. And there's a reality to it, and there's a sensitivity to it that literally breaks my heart. But I tell you very strongly, you've got something here that is very sensitive. Well, I know that the level of classification on this kind of a thing is so far damned above top secret that you can't imagine how sensitive this kind of thing is, and how delicate it is, and how tightly the government sits on anything like this.
Can you describe for us what we're seeing?
All right, we're looking at the interview suite at S4. It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens. The figure who is just barely visible in the left foreground is the telepath, and behind the camera is a raked seating area for observers. Although in this case, I believe the only other person present was a military aide. The alien is seated behind a glass partition in a biocontainment area, which is maintained at biosafety level 2, the lowest designation. That's primarily for the protection of the aliens, not us. The theory is that if they were going to infect us with an alien bug, it would have happened 50 years ago. In fact, all the indications are the aliens eliminated microbial and viral life from their own ecosystem long ago. They aren't susceptible to our diseases directly, but it has been shown that microbes can reproduce and form colonies within their respiratory systems, which tends to exacerbate the debilities they seem to suffer anyway in our environment. In fact, you can see here the alien is beginning to flag. The interview was not going well. The telepath was trying to clarify some points from a previous interview, but he wasn't receiving coherent responses. As you can see, the being is in real distress. At this point, the telepath is sending out a message to the medical staff. He's trying to communicate with the alien, but he's getting no response. There's very little he can do. There's no direct connection between his space and the biocontainment area. That's the aide stepping in on the right. The medical staff should be there by now. They're slow in responding. There they are. I have to say the medical personnel at S4 are less than first rate. They tend to be selected for their willingness to keep secrets rather than their medical competence. By the way, he's not shining that light into the eyes. It looks that way, but in fact he's checking for hemorrhaging around the eye sockets and in the nasal cavity. I'm sorry. It's very hard for me to watch this.
You're asking me if I think this is real? That have I finally seen a space alien? You know, I don't know. But I do know this. I know that this is not a tricked up version like the alien autopsy. It doesn't attempt to distract you away from the alien. It doesn't have that cinema verite, black and white. It doesn't go to great lengths to try to fool the audience. It's straight ahead. It's an alien on tape. Pretty much the way you'd probably film it. The point is this: what if it is real?
This is from a buddy of mine, Andy, who's from England. Andy's one of these great guys who is doing all this fantastic research on the alien interview. Actually, and you can go on YouTube, and it's Andrew Burlington, and he's been a good friend of mine. I hope he doesn't mind my mentioning him on the radio, but he's doing a fantastic service because I was one of the people that was in the process, or was one of the people that was involved in bringing out the alien interview, not the alien autopsy. I was actually at the bottom of the alien autopsy as well. And I was involved with Ray Santilli and a guy named Victor Spielberg and what was going on with that. And I backed off from the alien autopsy because I kept saying that there's things wrong with this. There's disconnects in the story that are not making any sense as far as it goes. So unfortunately, the alien interview, which I do believe to be real, is something that is amazing, which you can still go online and take a look at. Over the course of the past, 15 years or so, 20 years almost, coming up in, it's about 18 years or so. Just piece after piece after piece has come up to actually verify what's going on with this footage.
Hi Sean, I just wanted to say a big thank you to you for showing an interest in the Alien Interview channel and for mentioning my work on your fantastic show. It really is much appreciated. This video, in my opinion, was overlooked by the general public from the very beginning, and the more people that get to see it, the better. I always believed there was more to it than met the eye, and I think I found enough clues over the last 18 months to prove its authenticity. This is by far the longest project I've ever worked on in my life, but I have to say it's been worth every minute. Regarding the radio interview, well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this limited edition version of the Alien Interview analysis. This has been an exciting chapter of my life, and the UFO sightings I've been experiencing have convinced me even more that the video is genuine. This might sound crazy to some people, but in a way, it feels like I've been visited. If someone had told me 18 months ago that all this was going to happen, I would have laughed. I'm running low on disk space, so I'd like to wrap things up by saying thanks again for all the support you've given me these last few months. Best wishes to you and everyone at Revolution Radio. Bye for now.